you for being here. You are the most knowledge thirsty of them all, if you stay till the end. My name is Dan. I'm going to speak about what is security in Web3. And first of all, let's first look why you should even listen to me in the first place. I work with Sherlock. We have done 150 plus audits in a year and a half, quite a big amount. We've worked with one of the biggest projects in the ecosystem. I know you may recognize some logos here: Optimism, Avail, GMX, and many others. We have a bit of a different system, but over the years we have figured out some of the mistakes that people make when approaching security in Web3. So I hope this one will help you not repeat those mistakes and avoid hacks as much as possible. Okay, so what are the 3 stages that a project goes through? First of all, there is a pre-audit. When you develop everything, you're super excited, everything goes super well. Then you get to the audit, to the security review, and you quickly understand that a lot of mistakes have been made, but you think, okay, I've done the audit, everything is good now. And you get to the post-audit stage, and hopefully there are no hacks, but if they appear, the adrenaline is pumping, you don't know what to do, and there is a specific protocol you should follow in those cases. And we're blank. Hopefully not.
Let me go and check in the back.
Okay, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait a little bit.
Are you getting a signal? Yeah, it was.
And not only.
The exact same happened yesterday. Final talk, dodgy cable.
Oh yeah, maybe I stepped on something.
Blocking electricity.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
I don't know. It's just really shitty. Wait, give me 1 second.
Okay, no problem. Well, we can do a quick Q&A. Solidity, Go, Rust, TypeScript, whatever you're using, most probably we can audit that.
We primarily work in like ZK.
Try this one.
Kind of a different realm.
Yeah, actually I'll be touching upon that. It's we have an interesting approach for it.
Do you do process audits, which is an interesting idea that people have been talking about today? It's not just the code, but the processes behind it. Do you, especially as your teams get bigger and bigger?
Yeah, so I guess nobody wants to hear the talk. Everybody wants the Q&A. We can do that, right? But I'll be super quick. So usually for the pre-audit, what you want to do in order to ensure that you're all good, you want to find someone that is going to help you develop in a secure way. Best thing to do is, hire an in-house security researcher that is going to help you build in a secure way, help you prepare all the necessary documentation actually for the audit afterwards, because the more you provide to the auditors, the better a job they can do. They're still human. And of course, you can consult with them on which audit firm to choose, because it's not an easy choice to make, and you don't want to get scammed. Then, how do you actually find these solo auditors that you can hire in-house and make sure you hire a reputable person? First of all, look at your competitors. Who audited them? Who are those people? Maybe they did a public audit. Then you can go to the leaderboards of those competitions and see who performed and how well they performed. We actually, on Sherlock, have such a leaderboard with just some screenshots from it. You can see who is the top guy, second guy, and so on. And you can see how many vulnerabilities they found, which protocols they worked on. So you go ahead and find someone that has specific experience with what you are building. Are you a lending and borrowing? Are you a compound fork? Okay. Now, if we talk about the audit itself, you have 3-4 routes to go with, generally, from cheap to very expensive. This is a solo audit, a traditional audit, and then an audit competition, an audit contest. Sherlock is also in that realm, but I put it separately because I want to touch upon it. So the solo audit. What are the advantages and disadvantages? Biggest advantage, obviously, it's cheap. You know who is auditing your code base, what is their prior experience, are they reputable or not. and you have a very close connection with them. You might be asking yourself, but Dan, I already have a solo auditor in-house. Why should I hire someone else? The reason for that is that solo auditor has helped you write the code base. So most probably, they have a bias, so they are not really seeing everything that is out there, not seeing some edge cases. That's why you want a fresh set of eyes to take a look and really dive deeper. The biggest disadvantage with a solo auditor is it's only one person. One person, there's so much that they can do and so many things that they can know. You don't know how much time they actually spent for the money you gave them. And they usually don't have a direct incentive. Obviously, they care about their reputation, but we should never assume somebody is, somebody will do a fantastic job. We should set some parameters in place to ensure that. So there is nothing that can ensure they will do their maximum with your particular audit. Next, the next tier up is the traditional audit. We all know them, the Chain Security, the Trail of Bits, the Open Zeppelin of the world. Obviously, have been here for a very long time, very experienced companies. Biggest advantage is you have a curated list of people. You know exactly who's gonna audit your code base. They tell you what are their accolades, what they have achieved in the past. So that's great. They do a fixed review for you at the end. So all the fixes you have implemented are being checked. It's more than one person already a step up from a solo audit. But what are the disadvantages? Still, you're getting only 3-4 guys. There is so much that they can do. They get paid by per hour. What does that mean? What's the difference in the pay if I find 2 criticals or I find 10 criticals? It's none, right? Who knows? Then usually traditional audits, especially in the bull market, have very long lead times, so you have to book them in advance, which really interferes with your planned roadmap. And they have longer audit duration because obviously for 3-4 people to do a really good job, they need to spend a lot of time. Now, the innovation in the space has come with Code Arena that introduced the audit contest. The biggest advantages of audit contest that builds upon a traditional one is hundreds of people are looking at your code base. It's not only 3 or 4 guys, which gives them the ability to set up these audits very quickly, and they are much faster than a traditional audit. So you get your audit report super quick. The biggest disadvantage with an audit contest is obviously you have no guarantees. Who is auditing your code base? You don't know only after the audit has ended, and you don't know how much time they have spent, right? So you can look at the results and see that some very good security researcher has found 2 mediums in your code base. Did he found them after 5 days of intense work, or did he find it in 2 hours and he decided to switch to something else? So you don't know that, and that's a big problem because you have no guarantees of the quality of what you receive. But the big advantage is those people that participate are super incentivized to actually find bugs. Okay. Now, how did Sherlock try to mitigate those disadvantages that an audit contest provides? Now, this is a small shill from my side, so please be prepared. It's gonna only last 1 minute, not more than that, okay? So we have, as you have seen, we have a leaderboard, and the leaderboard is based on performance. So it's based on a ELO style rating. You might be familiar with it from chess or from competitive games. So in order to be on the top of the leaderboard, you have to actually perform very well against other top security researchers. Being on the top of the leaderboard gives you great advantages, which is extra fixed pay. Actually, being top 20, in the top 20 on the Sherlock leaderboard is the highest pay you can have as a security researcher, aside of bug bounties, obviously. So there is an intense fight for that position. Now, with that, gives us the opportunity to reserve security researchers for you, which means you know for sure that 5, 6, even more security researchers will spend their full time on your code base. They receive a small fixed pay for it, but you have the assurance of high-level talent spending time on your code base in a very competitive environment because the contest aspect is still there. Now we come to the maybe one of the most interesting parts, and still very important. Often projects focus on growing their protocol instead of security post-audit. They thought that, okay, we did an audit, checkbox done, we can move forward, forget about it. The best thing to do is to have continuous update audits. And one of the big reasons why protocols don't do it is because when you switch security providers, you have to re-audit everything again. And that's super expensive. So in that sense, it's a good idea to stay with one security provider so that you can have a better deal at continuous update audits, and even the smallest changes in your code base can lead to major problems down the line, so it's better to continuously check that. And obviously, with an audit competition, you can check who did well in your contest and bring that guy back for smaller continuous updates, so you can still continue building and at the same time be secure. Don't overlook bug bounty programs. If I'm not mistaken, the chief security officer from Polygon had a talk here earlier today, and he brought up a very good point. You can set up a bug bounty program for super cheap, and you don't need to go to Immunify or any other platforms. You can do it yourself, self-host it, and there will be auditors out there that will try to break your code. And they often look who has audited it before. So, if you get a lot of bug bounty submissions, probably you didn't choose the best auditor because they check for that when they choose which code base to attack. And bug bounty programs are great because it's a continuous audit. Once you're on mainnet, you don't have to do anything for it then other than, have money in your wallet for it. Of course, have an incident response process. Always think of the worst possible situation, what you're going to do in case of a hack, what are the checkpoints that you put in place, do you know exactly, where the money can be stolen from. All of that needs to be checked, and you have to have a war room protocol in case of a hack. And also, don't be afraid to reach out to security companies. We are happy to help. We have a lot of resources, obviously, for that. We have been in multiple war rooms, unfortunately. So we are happy to help. And obviously, real-time monitoring is always a great idea. It's not a silver bullet, but at least it gives you that extra check, helps you close off everything early on rather than later, which is usually time is very important in these matters. This is it. This is my Telegram for anybody interested to ask me absolutely anything. Don't worry, I'm not going to sell you anything in response, so you're free to ask me whatever, and I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you so much for staying here and listening to the last talk of the day.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Do you have any questions?
Have you thought about doing a escrow service where, you could pay out a certain amount to auditors and then unlock more over time if that protocol there hasn't been vulnerabilities found? So you could pay 50% up front and then the other 50% a year later?
We have done it the other way around, Sherlock only pays out medium and high tier vulnerabilities, right? And there are protocols that come to us after, let's say, 6 audits, 7 audits. They say, we think we are very secure, but we'd like to do this final check before we go to mainnet. So in those cases, we can set up a variable contest spot. So in case a medium is found, one tier opens. In case a critical is found, another tier opens, right? So we start with a lower base number, but depending on the result, tiers open.
Interesting. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Regarding the real-time monitoring,
yes.
What is the best approach that you have seen done?
It's very custom. It's very custom, right? Because it depends from protocol to protocol. I would say it's best to bring somebody from the outside or have a consultant help you set that up that is specifically or intimately familiar with your type of project and has set up that in the past. I would even reach out to to big projects that, or the chief security officers at those big projects, if they are similar to yours, or if you have forked that code base, in order to get, let's say, more detailed recommendations on things you should look out for. It's very difficult to give a all-encompassing answer here, unfortunately. But right now, there are more tools that do all the monitoring on-chain rather than off-chain, which I think is... we needed that a long time ago to have it all decentralized and at the smart contract level, so I would look in that direction as well.
Any final questions?
No final questions.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. That was a
Thank
great
you
way to
too.
end the day.